Welcome back to the KrakCast. I'm John, that's Dave and Josh over there. This is the latest in our series of episodes kind of inspired by the Jewish Festival, right? Krakow Jewish Festival. June 22nd to July 1st. You know what? Are we clear, like legally, like saying that we're inspired by the Jewish Festival? Are we clear this with our legal department? Can we do that? Are we part of the Jewish Festival?
I don't think so.
We're kind of riding on their fame, like...
Yeah,
listen to us.
It's the biggest festival in Krakow, so we're all over this.
It's a very big deal. Our guest today, Marcjanna Kubala.
Welcome, Marcjanna.
Hello.
She's the director of Hillel Krakow, an organization that we'll learn about in just a few minutes. She's here to talk about the work she does and also a personal experience that changed the direction of her life. Sounds like a big deal, Marcjanna. Tell us about this conversation that you had that led to us meeting here today and your involvement with Hillel and lots of other things.
It obviously changed the direction of my life, but I'm not sure if we can call it a conversation even. When I was 13, as every teenager does probably once alive, I put my name in Google and I found the family tree and I scrolled down and it turned out that part of the family didn't have the Polish last name. So I shouted through the door to my mom if they were German, and she shouted back, "No, they were Jewish, you're Jewish. You didn't know that?" And she left me with that.
By the way, we're Jewish.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. So it wasn't even a full conversation. She just informed me. But many people ask if I was shocked in the moment or I had a big explosion in my head or something like this. But then I say that not really, because my mom tricked us, me and my younger sister, because even before she told us that we have Jewish roots, she sent us to Jewish Sunday school. And when we were asking why are we going to Jewish Sunday school, she said, "Oh, it's so interesting to learn about different cultures, play with other kids." And I couldn't deny that. It was interesting. I had fun with other kids. And in the moment she said we have Jewish roots, I already knew something. It wasn't that strange. I had some Jewish friends, so it's like, okay, so I'm just joining the group. It's fine.
Any idea why or how the subject didn't come up earlier? Or was maybe you don't remember she mentioned it, or she thought she mentioned it but didn't, or it just happened that way?
I didn't notice that for sure. Maybe she was saying something, but also I think she was waiting for a good moment to tell us that. And in Poland, it's very common that young people in some point of their life discover their Jewish roots. I would say that the most of students gathered in our Hillel student club shared the story. It's because the generation of our grandparents obviously didn't want to talk about their roots because of the war.
Understandable.
Then the generation of our parents, the 68, during the communism, the government wasn't exactly friendly with Jews. So they also had to hide it. Most of them knew about their background, but they just were used to not to tell it out loud. Mm-hmm. And then our generation comes and people start to ask questions. Sometimes someone finds a document. Sometimes someone finds a picture of a grandparent with a long beard and starts to ask questions. Or just a member of the family breaks the silence because sees that the time has changed and we're going completely different direction, and it's okay to be a Jew now.
So going back to when you were 13, after you, kind of processed this information, kind of dealt with it in whatever way you could at the time, did it change the way you looked at things, the way you thought about yourself and your family? Did you get interested in new things, or what was the immediate effect of this information?
I think there wasn't any very immediate effect that changed. I kept going to Jewish Sunday school, and sometime later JCC opened, and as they say, timing is everything. Mm-hmm. So I was too old to be a kid in Sunday school, so I started to lead the Sunday school and run the workshops. I started to go as a counselor for Jewish summer camps. So in a very natural way, I got involved in the community work. It also meant that I had a lot of friends there. I was spending a lot of time in the community. So for me, it was a very natural way. And how it changed my mind. Well, I think it's changing until now, and hopefully it will keep changing because one of the great values of Judaism is to learn, and I think every day we're learning something, and learning more and more, I started to discover some parts of Judaism that even for not religious person like me, that they are very precious and worth working on them. I'm talking about things like the sense of community, which in Jewish culture is very strong. It means that we really take care one of each other. And it doesn't matter that you're from Europe, you're from Israel, you're from United States. We're just part of the one big community. And also the other thing that attracts me a lot is the idea of tikkun olam, making the world better place. It means that if you have power to change 2 meters around you, you need to do this. You should do this. It's your duty. If you have power to change 200 kilometers, you also should do this. So even I'm not a religious person, I really find my place in the community, sharing this with other young people who are coming to JCC.
So you go from working with the JCC Sunday School to the director of Hillel Krakow. It's a big jump. Tell us about Hillel Krakow, what they do as an organization, and kind of that transition from Sunday School to Hillel.
So starting with the transition, as I said, it was very natural way. I just started to grow and getting older and later adult. So in some moment, with friends in JCC, we decided that we need some space for students, for young people. We had Sunday school for kids. We had the senior club for seniors. And we needed a place for students. So we decided to organize the student club. We called it Gimel at first because in Hebrew alphabet, every letter has the numerical value. And Gimel is third letter of the alphabet. So as they call us third generation, we thought it would be a nice symbol. Plus, in the dreidel game during Hanukkah, when we decided to make the student club, there is this game that you spin a dreidel, and it has letters on it, and letter Gimel always win. So it's also that connection. And so we worked as Gimel Student Club for 4 years, I guess, and then big international organization for students decided to open 2 spots in Poland, first in Warsaw and then in Krakow. And as we already had existing student club, we decided to join forces, and we made Hillel Gimel Student Club.
But the evolution of that name is pretty complicated, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a numerical play on words.
There's some numerology in there as well. It's interesting.
I like it.
It is. A lot of Jewish things have meaning, and as every letter has the numerical value, you can basically count every word. There is a whole science about it. So when we got to Hillel Gimel Student Club and we joined other 600 Hillel organization in the world, we started
600?
to be... Yeah.
Wow.
Most of them, they're in the United States, but also in Latin America, in former Soviet Union, so in Israel, now also in Poland. And we started to invite young students with a Jewish background to join us, to learn with us, because as you discover in some point of your life that you're a little bit more than you thought, that also this Jewish heritage is part of you, but you know exactly zero about it. So you need to start from ABC level. So we learn together. We try to celebrate Jewish holidays together. Once a month, we're doing the student Shabbat dinner, which for some people it has like religious meaning. For some people, it's just a great excuse to sit on the table with the friends and chill for a moment after a long week. We also try to cooperate with some student organizations on the universities. We had the pleasure to join the Asian Studies Festival on Jagiellonian University. Now we were partners with JCC in organizing 7 at Night, the Night of Synagogues. We prepared the exhibition about Jewish symbols because we thought that this is exactly how our story starts, that we first need to learn even symbols. So we offered that to visitors. We learn sometimes with the rabbi, sometimes we go ice skating. So it's building community with the new energy, looking into bright future. And for everyone, the path is a little bit different, but we all going into the same direction.
You mentioned universities a minute ago. When I was reading up on Hillel, it seems like most of the chapters, most of the groups elsewhere, especially in America, are based in a university. Whereas here in Krakow, you're basically, you're associated with JCC. Why aren't you based at, for example, the Jagiellonian University here instead of the JCC?
I think there are two main reasons. First of all, that in JCC, there was already a student club, so it was easier to start to launch the student organization. And the second reason is that the characteristic of Polish campus, university campus, it's different than in US. In US, you live on the campus, you spend a lot of your time there. And here in Poland, you just go there to study. So it's easier to have the student club in the central point of the city, in the beautiful district of Kazimierz, which attracts people a lot for different reasons, but it's true. And also the community here, it's not so big. I mean, it's growing and we're really proud of it, but in global terms, we're still a small community. So it makes no sense to have two different student organizations into the 2 points of the city.
And it makes a lot of sense to be based right in the middle of Kazimierz, isn't it? I mean, It's such a great place to have your base. I was wondering about the first time maybe that you traveled to Israel, and was that connected to some of the stuff you do with these student groups at the time, or did you go on your own? And how did you find the experience the first time you went to Israel?
My first trip to Israel was quite unreal experience because I went exactly for the celebration of Israel's 60th birthday.
Wow.
So it was huge. A lot of people, a lot of youth groups from all over the world, a lot of celebration, concerts, decoration. So it was a little bit like a dream. But then I had the chance to visit again with my friends, with whom I used to work on summer camps, Jewish summer camps here in Poland. So we went for kind of training there. And this was completely different experience. We also visited from north to south, almost south. We've seen a lot because Israel is a very diverse place. If you go, it's a very small country, but it's very diverse. If you go north, you get green mountains. And if you go south, you have completely the dry desert and camels. So it's worth seeing that.
And the cool coastal city of Tel Aviv. I'd love to go to Tel Aviv. It looks amazing. Did you get to see it?
Yes, but Tel Aviv is I think, the most European town in Israel.
I want to lie on the beach and have a beer,
Yeah, but it's fun.
Is
Tel
that the
Aviv,
big beach destination, Tel Aviv? Is that where people go to the beach?
That's why I mentioned the beach. And a beer.
Yeah, well, there are lots of beaches, but I mean, is that like it's not.
There's no beaches in the desert generally, John.
No, but they have a long coastline. Israel has a long coastline.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Eilat is the other.
Yes, Eilat.
What is that? Like a resort?
Red Sea, isn't it?
Yeah, on south.
Everybody knows more than I do about the beach. See, that's strange. Something that Hillel deals with is called, I think it's called the law of return or the right of return, right? does Hillel somehow have some hand in helping people to take advantage? Well, first of all, just to remind people what that is and how does Hillel kind of fit into helping people take advantage of this opportunity?
So in the law of return, it means that you can make aliyah to Israel, which is that you can apply for Israeli citizenship if one of your grandparents was or is Jewish.
2 generations back.
Yeah, now it's 2 generations back, yes. And if you're able to do aliyah, you're also invited first to Taglit, which is a week-long trip to Israel that you visit from north to south, visit a lot of places, learn also
including
about
the beach, wherever that is.
Including the beach, including the Dead Sea, and the floating experience in the Dead Sea, which is awesome. And you learn a lot. It's not only, obviously, mostly it's fun, but you learn a lot also about the history, about the culture of Israel. So you can see the land everyone is talking about, right? Because always Jews and Israel go together. So if you've never been to, you don't know what they're talking about to you.
Is floating in the Dead Sea the absolute most touristy thing you can do in Israel, or is there something else?
Oh, for sure, there is more things. You need to go and check.
What's the selfie image you take from,
on the camel, riding the desert on the camel, or and the background you have the Bedouin tents. I think also you can.
A lot of religious tourism as well, kind of in Jerusalem and Bethlehem.
Jerusalem, it's impressive, but it's always windy. So
is it? Really?
Windy?
Yeah. Last time I went there, in Israel, in Jerusalem, it's always colder than in Tel Aviv.
I'd be at home then. There's a fierce wind in Dublin.
But if you get lost in the old city of Jerusalem, it's just amazing. It's like in the ancient story.
It's stunningly beautiful. Yeah. It's so ancient looking, the buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, you can smell the history when you watch it on TV.
You can walk on the roofs. You need to find the entrance to the roofs, and you can walk all the old city on the roof. So it's pretty awesome.
What relationship, if any, what formal relationship does Hillel have with the Krakow Jewish Festival in terms of hosting events or participation, any kind of organization? Really?
So as Gimel Student Club previously, we were having our program for Jewish Culture Festival too. Since now we're Hillel Gimel, we will continue that under other name. So for this year Jewish Festival, we have our special program. Almost every day you might be able to come to our student club on Izaka 5th Street to our chill out zone called Chillel.
I see the play on words in this organization.
I see what you did there. Very
and
good.
Also we will lead some workshops and talks. For instance, we will have the first aid workshop with a talk about the value of life in Judaism. We will have the lecture about Jewish culture and tattoos. Also about Edgar Keret literature. So a lot of and Israeli wine tasting. Ooh. We have a sommelier on the board. So
I have to back you up a little to the tattoo thing. Can you explain a little bit what?
Come to the lecture, so you will see. But
I thought tattoos were in Judaism were not a thing.
Exactly. That's the most popular version that people know, but. There are a lot of details, as in every point.
Being Jewish is complicated.
It's very complicated. That's why you need to learn all life.
That's why our next guest is going to be a rabbi.
Yeah. We'll get some answers from him too. Yeah. But we get answers from everybody. But he's going to be our go-to source for this stuff. Yeah. But tattoos, isn't it a simple lecture? Don't get one. The end.
Well, but also there is a lot of to say about the meaning of tattoos, and it won't be me giving the lecture, so maybe you can invite the girl.
As my mother said, you don't put a bumper sticker on a Mercedes.
Suddenly I'm really curious about the tattoos. Don't get one, but if you do, let's talk about the meaning.
You have to hear the whole lecture, John. I think it's
we're speculating. We're guessing.
It's 2 hours of probably details got into this.
It will be fun.
I will. I've now committed to going and seeing the tattoo lecture at Chillel.
Yeah, there will be more. You can check it on the festival websites. We're in the program too.
And tell me more about the wine you serve at Chillel. Now you've really got my interest.
It will be the let's talk about Israeli wines.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is the event, so you also might be able to come, but you need to sign up. We have limited spots.
Definitely, that's a popular one.
Don't miss that. And it will be English translated to Polish, so
Sweet.
just perfect for you.
Perfect. Wine, English, I'm there.
Marcjanna, when Jonathan Ornstein was here, we asked him what his favorite event was from the Krakow Jewish Festival, and he said, what's it, Shalom on Sharoka? The big final concert. Are you going to give us the same answer, or do you have a different highlight, a different favorite part of the festival?
Well, Shalom on Sharoka, it's definitely a highlight, but also for those who like smaller spaces, I would recommend jam sessions during the festival, because a lot of artists are coming. So after the long day, they playing all around Kazimierz. So check places.
Josh, you're going to have to strap on the old axe and head down to Platz Sharoka.
The website is hillel.pl. That's HILLEL.pl. A lot of L's in there.
Yeah, and Facebook, it's /Hillel Gimel, also with multiple L's. You will find it.
A lot of L's.
We'll put a link up to the Facebook page.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll put links on the show notes.
But Hillel, it's not by accident. It was a Jewish philosopher who was very into education and the community sense. You also might need to check that one.
Everything has like lots of meanings. There's no accidents, I guess, in the names. And Gimel, was it 3 or third?
Three, number 3. As they call us, third generation, so it would be nice symbol for us.
Is there another context where you would use the word Gimel to describe something else because it's 3?
I don't know.
Is that the Hebrew word for the number 3?
No. It's Shalot.
Of course it is. No.
You look deeply confused right now.
I'm totally confused.
I'm so happy right now.
Totally confused. Marcjanna Kubala, director of the Hillel Krakow organization, doing good work. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at the Jewish Festival.
Thank you so much, Marcjanna.